a todos. I am Dr. Nadine Gonzalez de Jesus, President of San Antonio College, and your MC for the day. On behalf of my colleagues, I'd like to thank you all for joining us for our groundbreaking Futures ribbon cutting for a brand new First Responders Academy for Alamo Colleges. Before we continue, I would like to acknowledge a special guest with us this morning. State Representative Steve Allison. State Representative Josie Garcia. City of San Antonio Councilwoman Dr. Adriana Rocha Garcia. I'd like to welcome representatives from the following offices. Taylor Puente from the office of Senator John Cornyn. Aston Drucker from the office of Congressman Henry Cuellar. Jasmine Rodriguez from the office of Congressman Joaquin Castro. Shannon O'Neill from the Texas General Land Office. Katie Farias from the office of Senator Roland Gutierrez. Sarah Clark from the office of Representative Josie Garcia. I'd like to acknowledge members of the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee for their guidance on this project. If any of them are present, please stand and be acknowledged. Thank you. Thank you. I'd also like to thank my colleague, Dr. Amy Bosley, President of Northwest Vista College, for attending. And Amy and I were already connecting with one another because we are so happy to say that in the fall 2024, the students from Northwest Vista College will also be receiving First Responders Academy courses. Thank you, Dr. Bosley, for your partnership. And lastly, I'd like to acknowledge our partners from our local fire and law enforcement agencies. If any of them are present, please stand and be acknowledged. And they're all standing around. Thank you for your service. The facility will be the new hub for our Protective Services Academic Department. This includes the Law Enforcement Academy, the Fire Academy, the Emergency Homeland, and the Emergency Med Technician Academies. It will improve and enhance the education and training of all of our students who are enrolled in the Protective Services pathway. At this time, we ask that everyone please rise for the presentation of colors by the Windcrest Police Department Honor Guard, followed by the singing of the national anthem by San Antonio College student and veteran Alexander Ambrosides.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran clear, the bombs bursting in air, came through to the night, and our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the
You may now please be seated. Thank you. Thank you to the Windcrest Police Department and Alexander for that beautiful performance of the national anthem. We're thankful for your service. Now I'd like to welcome Alamo Colleges District Board Chair Sarate, who represents District 5 and has served on the board for 2 decades. As a retired educator, Mr. Sarate knows how quality education impacts lives and helps students achieve their academic and career goals. Please help welcome Mr. Roberto Sarate.
Good morning. Good morning. Wow, what a day. This is an incredible day. I first want to introduce our board members that are here, simply because you cannot have this kind of result without their vision and without their governance, good governance in terms of having the wherewithal to know how to make sure that the community has a return on investment. And the return on investment was the bond issue that gave us this building. I want to first start with Joel Garete from District 1. We are the only community college district in the state of Texas that has a student trustee. And we have a SAC, veteran trustee, student trustee, that's Brandon Aviado. And to give him a little prop here, he's smarter than the rest of us. He's wonderful. I need to go into a little bit of history before we talk about how we feel about this particular implementation. One is, about 2004, 2005, 2 professors kind of talked to us about, not talked to us, they insisted that we look at this kind of development, something to help first responders. They were so insistent that we went out, we visited, I think Dr. Sprague and I visited with the team from SAC at Tarrant County Community College, and we were very impressed with what they did and realized the vision that needed to happen here in San Antonio in order for us to do something substantial for early responders. And so I think their names, and instead I see them right, Professor Richardson and Mr. Fox, they both were very insistent. We put it on the bond issue that failed. I'm sorry, I mean, the politics here, it didn't work. But then the second go around, it did. It passed. And so we started with the iteration that you see out here, that you're going to get a tour of. It's wonderful. But then we had another bond issue, and the citizens of this county voted 70% to continue with the building process that we had underway. And so what you see today is a reflection of the community's value for what the police and the firemen do, especially the EMTs and so on. And also the respect that this board has for the community. We do not want to have a building like we had before to house this particular investment. So we went from like maybe like a little, Rolando, where were we? The little thing across from the Bill Miller's or whatever?
Yes, it's 2 small buildings.
Yeah. And really we didn't have a footprint at all in terms of our academic program or credentialing program. But now we do. Look at this beautiful, beautiful place. If I'm a candidate, a cadet, that wants to come and get my certificate, you walk into a place that's going to give you a quality experience and a quality credential. And that's what I'm very proud of. And I know that Joe and the other board members feel about the same way. We will not have anything less than first quality. The primary interest in making sure that we have the respect and we show that respect to our community and to our students that come with us. So today's a great day. And usually they give me a script to read, but I never use it. But I can tell you that what I've said and what I'm feeling right now, it comes from the heart. The trustees don't get paid for this, but they take all the heat and all the other stuff that comes with that. But I could not be any prouder that when I leave my tenure, and by the way, the 2-decade thing has got to go. So when I leave this position, I can tell you that the legacy we're leaving for this community and for the infrastructure of this community cannot be matched anywhere in this country. So let's enjoy this day. Let's listen to all the beautiful people who are going to speak to you. But then I can't wait to walk to the building and really look at the ambiance that we have here. And so from the Alamo College Board of Trustees, thank you for being here, and thank you for being so supportive.
Thank you, Mr. Saturday, and all the trustees within our district for your steadfast support for the students that we serve and the support that you give to Access and Success. Now I have the honor of welcoming our champion for student success, Dr. Mike Flores, Chancellor of the Alamo Colleges District, to share a few words. Dr. Flores has served in various roles within the district for more than 20 years. And recently, he completed 5 years of service as Chancellor, always committed to providing opportunities for success and socioeconomic mobility through education. Under the leadership, the district is the only system in the nation to be awarded the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award, the nation's highest presidential honor for performance excellence. Please help me welcome Dr. Mike Flores, Chancellor.
Good morning, buenos dias. All right, are you all excited? Okay. So I think, we are fortunate, and you don't realize it until you are in this seat, in this role, to actually have the benefit of a board of trustees that have a shared vision. As Chairman Zarate mentioned, Mr. Alderete, thank you, Brandon. The vision that each of them have individually, but really collectively, to support our community. A bond issue in and of itself, an investment of $450 million, is a big investment, and the board called for the vote, and the voters supported it by 2-to-1 margin to be able to support facilities like this that are best in class nationally, providing what you're just about to see. I want to give you just a little bit of perspective of what has gone into today. So anything that we do is collective, right? It's a partnership. I'm just fortunate to be one of 5,500 individuals that support the Alamo Colleges District to back up 73,000 students. So I want to ask my colleagues from Alamo if they could stand so we could recognize them. SAC, Alamo Colleges, faculty, staff, if you're standing, raise your hands. Let's give them a round of applause. So to get here, and actually after today, there are 23 projects that were funded by the $450 million bond. After today, we just have 3 left. So 3 left, a big undertaking involving lots of folks, beginning, as Mr. Zarate mentioned, with faculty and staff, asking them about what do you need, how can we provide best-in-class facilities. Of the $450 million, $83 million of that was for San Antonio College, instructional and support needs, and $20 million of that is invested here in this facility today. We've been fortunate that this year has really been one of the most groundbreaking future years because we opened 2 new education and training centers. One just a few miles over to in the south, right, the Southside Education and Training Center, and then over about 8 miles over the Westside Education and Training Center, and then 6 new buildings at each of the colleges, creating state-of-the-art facilities, including, it says here on the script, and I think it's probably the entry point off of San Pedro, right, a once-in-a-generation investment in San Antonio College, and then, of course, the Rio Grande building at Palo Alto College, which are examples of the investment that are made into the facilities. But we can talk about place and we can talk about buildings, but most important, it's about the opportunity that's provided for our people. And in particular, to be able to increase the number of slots for first responders through this facility here at San Antonio College. To be able to increase the number of offerings for individuals seeking certification or seeking an Associate of Applied Science degree, more first responders in police and fire and emergency management to be able to do that. Right here, there are a couple of proof points that I want to mention because it's not only providing opportunity, but it's ensuring that our cadets are successful. So our fire academy has a 98% certification success rate. Is that right? And 94% of those individuals are employed within the first 2 years. Yes. I was going to say one. We'll give you one more. 2 years. And then law enforcement, those cadets have an annual average passage rate of 98%. Sounds right? This is why I was thinking of the 1 year. But this past year, 100% passed. And similarly, right, 95% were placed between the first 2 years. But think of what that means. One, best-in-class facility now, fantastic faculty who are challenging our cadets and ensuring that our graduates are successful in their exams. They get their certification. Most importantly, they are placed in high-wage, high-demand fields, and they're of service to each and every one of us. And so I think that's what's most critical. Congratulations, Dr. Gonzalez de Jesus, congratulations to your team, to our faculty, most importantly to our students. Thank you, Mr. Cerate, Mr. Alderete, Mr. Aviado, for your support for this bond issue. We are so thankful, and I look forward to the tour. All right, felicidades.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Flores. Now I'd like to introduce you to Vice President Dr. Stella Bovado.
Dr. Flores said, are you going to be okay up there? So I'm going to see if I can make it through this without crying. This has been a wonderful journey, and we've had so many people help us to pull this together. It was a lot of dreams and a lot of visions and a lot of days working together. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about what we've done. I would like to take a moment to recognize the construction companies. So I want to make sure that everybody knows that while we were trying to imagine this and think of things that were bigger and better, that we had the teams that had the vision as well. So I would be remiss if I didn't mention our partners. First of all, AECOM, Tony Alfaro, who kept us on time and on budget. So Tony, along with Hugh Dodson and Claudia Ortiz. Also, we want to thank MOCA, Patricia DeHaro. Patricia, are you here? Okay, thank you. And then, of course, we had O'Connell Roberts that heard us and saw our vision and changed things and changed things and changed things until they came out perfect, and you'll see in just a few minutes. Chris Norndorf, principal. Project architect, Nicole Nations, Lucella Gonzalez Vanderwall, Jason Reed, and the entire team that listened to the FRA users to make their vision come true. Also, Gilbane Building Company, who built this beautiful state-of-the-art facility. Brent Ivy. Where's Brent at? Brent's right over here. And also, Eric Cobbett and Billy Goldberg and Jeremy Walker. Can y'all stand? They're the ones that together. To the building users, without their dreams, we wouldn't have been able to do this also. Martin Davila, Frank Pointer, and also Rolando Barrientos. Thank you. And last but not least, I want to thank the team that kept me in track so I could keep them in track, right? on track. We also want to thank Martha Castro, who scheduled a gazillion meetings in these last 3 years. Also, I want to welcome back Renee Johnson and Gerald Dove, my former former college services directors, because they did a lot of, boots on the ground. Janae and Gerald. And Sergio Rivera, who now we're handing this building over to him to take care of. So Sergio. And thanks to Palo Alto for allowing him to come over here and help us. So we are truly partners with all our colleges. So in essence, it truly takes an entire team. It takes a village to get things done. So we're very excited about that. All right, let me just move on. We have a couple of more things. When I became Vice President of College Services in 2016, 1 year later, I was given a budget of $83 million. Because I was told that I needed to build many buildings. I was like, okay, I was trying to think, I don't remember in my PhD program which of those was a class to build a building, but sure, let's do it. In just 6 years, we've had amazing improvements on our campus with new buildings such as the John L. Santikos Micronaut Center, the Early Childhood Center, and the Science Building. We also had a massive renovation in our Fletcher Administration Building so we could have a one-stop shop for our students. And now we have our final project, and this is our FRA, or First Responders Academy. What sets this facility apart and truly improves training is a two-story, 8,250 square feet tactical room that is down the hall. I hope you all get to visit this because this is truly an exciting addition to this FRA. This space has been designed for the use by police and fire cadets. It features a dozen modular rooms. It also has lighting that is controlled with maximum brightness and total darkness. So as you know, our students, our FRA doesn't usually go, you may have an emergency during the day, but you probably will have one in the evening too. So we wanted to make sure that we built this building so it was a realistic type setting. And thanks to Frank and Variantes for helping with this as well. And also a surround sound system. Overhead steel catwalk provides a platform for instructors to guide cadets through several real-life scenarios, including active shooter situations and search and rescue operations. Cameras. The upside to the cameras is that now the instructors can actually go away, sit in this camera room, and see what the students are doing. For those of you that are faculty, if you stand there and watch the students, they get a little bit nervous, so seeing them in this camera view room helps the students do a lot better as well. Outside in the back of this facility is a concrete driving course where cadets can learn defensive driving techniques while speeding, weaving, and braking. This driving pad has enough space to be used for the driver operator certification program and maybe be able to open up to the local fire departments. We used to use Moody Learning Center's parking lot to do this. So we're very excited that now they have their own driving pad. Even classrooms have been designed to be bright and airy with video screens to engage students in important academic topics such as the state laws and protocols for dealing with people under the influence and who have mental health illnesses. We were able to take these dreams and make them real through a lot of conversations. I am deeply proud and also humbled to see the space ready for training. So it's bittersweet that this is our last building for this CIP, but excited to see the future as we move forward. So thank you.
Dr. Stella, thank you so much. Next, we would like to give you a special look at the First Responders Academy with a video we have put participation. It includes two of our directors who are very instrumental in the success of the First Responders Academy, Chief Frank Pointer, and the Director of the Law Enforcement Academy, Rolando Barrientes.
So my name is Frank Pointer. I'm the Director-in-Chief of the Regional Fire Academy for San Antonio College, Alamo Colleges. And we're here at the new First Responders Academy building. We really tried to implement the building to be built in a way that fit the programs and the training that the programs need to be able to do. So we have special needs, special things that most facilities probably wouldn't have. Like the multi-purpose room, we have a large conference center classroom and our new state-of-the-art tactical room as well. Not only is it giving us the ability to expand the programs, grow the programs, it's giving us the ability to provide more first responders to the community, and all those things wouldn't have happened to the level that they are at this point without this facility.
Bringing this First Responder Academy to the San Antonio area is huge. We're one of the few college-based law enforcement academies that has a facility as such. Our goal here is to teach them their mistakes here, so that when they go off into the field, they will not make those same mistakes and they're ready.
Isn't that exciting or what? Wonderful. Okay, so now we have the opportunity to introduce you to our student from SAC, Mr. Robert McConkey. He's a Phase 4 cadet in the law enforcement class and will speak on his education and training. Please welcome Robert McConkey.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting us. As Ms. Nadine said, I'm Robert McConkey with the Phase 4 part of the Law Enforcement Academy's AM class. First and foremost, on behalf of my class, I want to thank you all for coming out and celebrating our growth. Not sure if y'all have been over to our facility we're currently in. It gives us a lot of support, but seeing this just gives us so much hope for the future and the growth that we're seeing. I'd like to take a small amount of my time and amount of your time to share what we do here with the law enforcement program. As you may think, we learn about laws and how to enforce them. And for a lot of people, they may think that's about it. Over the past 6 months, my fellow cadets and I have studied the history of policing, both good and bad, the ethical and professional standards this great state of Texas holds us to, anatomical pressure points on the body so that we know how to effect an arrest in a less aggressive way, less violent manner. Laws ranging from constitutional levels to theft, to threatening to blow up buildings and murder for hire, traffic laws on the road, licensing requirements and their restrictions, vehicle equipment requirements detailed down to the exact inches that each light can be from the ground, along with a plethora of Supreme Court decisions that fill in all those wonderful gray areas that may be left open for interpretation in the courts. Now, as I mentioned, all that may be expected when you think of law enforcement. That's when you think of enforcing the laws. But also, this academy is doing a great job of teaching us how to recognize people in a mental health crisis, people suffering from drug addiction, living with mood, thought, personality, and developmental disorders, plus how to interact on a deeper level with these citizens that are an integral part of our community that we are swearing to protect so that we can de-escalate those situations and actually bring peace, like their name says, as a peace officer. How to softly comfort and reassure victims of crime, as well as seeing those through the impacts of brain trauma. How to interact with people with different cultures, and especially important in our local community, we learn to hablo un poco español. I'm beyond proud of this academy and every resource they provide us with, even in the temporary buildings that we've been using. Personally, I'm blessed and very fortunate that thanks to the efforts of our wonderful directors here, that I'm actually already signed on with a prestigious local law enforcement agency here in the San Antonio area. Our privacy goes above and beyond to bring experts from every one of the fields I mentioned and even more, all the way up to active chiefs of police so that we get a vast look at everything we're going to be doing and a real insight into those fields that we're going into and don't miss any of the details that we can gain from that real life experience. And because of that, it leads to wonderful agencies such as Winecrest and some of the agencies here today that are recruiting us even while we're in the academy before we've even graduated. And thank you very much for giving us that opportunity. Now, this new building will only further to build on these benefits with a wonderful training environment for us, but of course, all the face time these future cadets that are coming through will receive, because it's going to host training for all the agencies in the greater San Antonio area, all the way out to some coastal regions across Texas. The classrooms are designed, as we saw in the video, to be wide set, and it's very inclusive so that no student gets left in the back, no one gets forgotten in the classroom. Tactical training area, I know we've already mentioned some of the features that it has, but it is beyond state of the art. So it's the most realistic training possible. And the inclusion of law enforcement along with Chief Pointer and the fire cadets helps build the brotherhood and the synergy that we're going to have to go out and serve our communities in a, like I said, synergetic and very efficient way, and build that brotherhood going forward. Director Barrientos and Chief Phillip, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you for all the opportunities, all the support that you've shown me and my fellow cadets. And to all of you, thank you so much for coming out and setting the standard and the precedent of the community support that we can only hope to build upon going forward. Thank you very much for your time.
You did such a great job with your Spanish. Muy bien, Robert. Perfecto. And now I'd like to share some closing remarks for this event. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my team. My team, please stand up. I'd like to thank you for all that you've done. Before I even got here, this was already being worked on, and you made this happen. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing such an outstanding job in all that you do. Thank you. Preparing our students to succeed once they leave SAC is one of our main priorities. And nowhere is that more evident than with this FRA, or the First Responders Academy. Estamos orgullosos de que tenemos la oportunidad de proveerle a la comunidad de San Antonio la educación y la excelencia para que todos puedan ser profesionales en las carreras de primeros auxilios. We are proud to be able to provide our residents of San Antonio with the opportunity for them to pursue an education of excellence in which they can now say they can attend the First Responders Academy and be prepared for a career that pays and pays well. I think it's also important to know that none of this would have occurred without the trust that the communities already put on San Antonio College. I want to thank our community. Quiero agradecer a la comunidad por poner su confianza en San Antonio College. Not only that, but also your trust, tu confianza en Alamo Colleges District, in the Alamo Colleges District. I think it's also important to note that I'm thankful to our Chancellor for the support that he continues to give. El Canciller de Alamo Colleges District, Señor Dr. Flores. I also want to thank our trustees for the wonderful job that you continue to do day in and day out to ensure we continue to provide the very best access and education for our students. Gracias. Thank you. And now we will have the opportunity to go out there and do ribbon cutting in front of the building and refreshments to formally open the building, followed by tours of the First Responders Academy. Thank you all for attending.
like figuring out what this experiential writing. So having, I mean, I
We need to do a seal. Yeah. We need to get all the law on fire together. Press the hand.
Good back.